So people always want to hear about debt relief stories, and I'm going to tell you about this lady. I can't tell you her last name for privacy reasons, but let's just call her Susan Tinytown, because she was from this really tiny town. And Susan Tinytown was a grandma. She was 70 years old, and she makes $1,300 a month in Social Security, right? She doesn't make a lot of money. She works at a bakery part-time and makes $200 a week. So she makes $800 a month working at a bakery. Super sweet story. So she's making around a total of $2,000 a month. So Susan Tinytown has 40 grand in credit card debt. Susan Tinytown's monthly minimum payment is $1,700, $1,700, right? She's barely keeping her head above water. $300 to $400 a month left for food and grandma activities like probably knitting, whatever. But anyway, Susan Tinytown enrolled in a debt relief program, and her monthly payment dropped from $1,700 down to $600. And her $600 a month payment now gets her out of debt in 4.5 years, whereas she would have been in debt for over 10 years just paying her monthly minimum payment. They settle her debt amounts, so now instead of owing $40,000, her debt amount payment, or what she owes, is going to go down dramatically because the banks are going to settle with her. I mean, Susan Tinytown was saving $1,100 by going to a debt relief program instead of paying the banks. I mean, out of that $1,700 a month payment, she was paying over $1,000 a month in just interest, not even getting her out of debt. Just that was going straight to the bank. So with that $1,100 she saved, I don't know what kind of grandma activity she'd done, but maybe she could have gone to some aqua aerobics. She could have bought like a lot more yarn to start knitting some stuff for her grandkids. She could have made way more cookies. I mean, I couldn't imagine how many cookies you can make for $1,100. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 6,000 cookies. I mean, she probably could have started a cookie business with how much she was saving. So Susan Tinytown took a big W by switching from monthly minimum credit card payments. She actually got the courage to ask for help, and she got a debt relief program that gave her an extra $1,100 a year. And so if that sounds like you, I would absolutely look into this. There's a lot of negative stigma around debt relief programs, but the truth is, I think personally, it's bad marketing. I think that the banks want to keep people in debt. They want you looking at your FICO score. They don't want you looking at how much you owe or how much interest you're paying. And that's a big part of the problem, is that people that are in high interest credit card debt aren't looking for ways to get out of it. They're just looking at my FICO score and am I making my minimum payment? And neither of those things matter. So there are other ways to get out of debt other than just paying your monthly minimum payment. You can get a personal loan. You can get into a debt relief program. There are a ton of different ways. You just have to get the courage to ask for help and find someone that knows what they're doing. That's what Lending River is. We know what we're doing. I mean, it's such a small change, but it's such a big impact.